when the kids all went away and did their own thing, now went to college and this and that, that's when you start losing touch with that group.
Ooh.
And that also, though, is when it required more caregiving on my part.
Yeah.
And so that kind of, I lost contact with, more than half of those people.
Wow.
So
wow.
We lost or misplaced a number of friends.
Yeah.
So,
and you just don't have the energy to try to figure out how to do that when you're doing all this stuff. And there's no natural touch points that there were. Those are all gone. So they don't exist even. And trying to make new ones. I mean, who are you going to make friends with? That.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was really difficult. I was lucky enough though that I had some close friends that I did stay in touch with that were very accepting and said, yeah, come on over and hang out. And, we would go for Saturday football games and it was more like cookouts. It's not the football game. It's the companionship.
It's just being with people and you're not alone. And it's not this unevenness of, I need to look at some different stuff. I mean, I would like to have a conversation that is not trying to be negotiating and not causing harm and trying to work stuff out. I mean, your brain just needs a break.
Yeah.
Frankly.
And so I was really lucky with that and
good.
Had that good core group of people that were very helpful.
Yeah. What about the moms? How did the moms, what happened with the moms? I'm curious.
So mine they said lived 2,000 miles away. So they were down in Texas and I was here. And my mom came to visit, I think, twice. Mm-hmm. And then Patty's mom only lived 300 miles away. So she came up on a regular basis and would stay at the house and be helpful. And unfortunately, after this diagnosis, I ended up going through a number of deaths in my family where I had to be gone for a while because my mom passed away. My sister passed away. My brother passed away. And I thought I had somebody, and then Patty. So, wow. And so her mom would come and stay at the house to be the adult figure for the boys and then kind of take care of Patty. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So you built your team. I mean, the team came together. That was helpful. But then as Patty's abilities kept changing and they changed fast. I mean,
they did.
Very fast. I mean, your description, that's fast. I mean, that is a very rapidly progressing dementia.
It was, I could see things over the course of a 3-month period.
Yeah.
That's when things would diminish. I could notice, she used to be able to do that. And then about every 3 months, it would go down and then level, down and level about every 3 months or so.
Yeah. So the cool part you're describing, honestly, Dale, is that each time you could figure out how to stabilize a little bit.
Yeah.
But then you had to recognize, here we go again, and find the new stability point. Did you get to a place where the physicality of the care, the physical nature of the care got to a point where it's like, okay, we got to shift our gears a lot here? Or how did that play for you guys?
Mine was more because of the shift work, and I took a different position that I worked days, and I had a caregiver come in just because I had to be at work. So she did, and I worked 4 days a week, so that was really lucky. So I got somebody there for that 4 days a week, and then when I got home, I took over, and I would do the cooking and entertaining and getting her ready for bed, and the caregiver would do the baths, or bathing on a couple of days, and just kept her occupied and would get her out and go to parks and stuff like that. So, Patty was really mobile. What she ended up losing though was the cognitive portion and her speech.
Oh yeah. So she had a frontal temporal involvement not able to, she could pick something up, but then trying to figure out, what do I do with this?
Exactly.
And you could see the trying, but not knowing the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's so hard because our tendency is to say something, which is not helpful. But that whole thing. So as you're describing this progression, how many times did you find there was a new telling of something new had changed? And so here's this new thing we're doing and coping with. Did you find that you were having to reshare this thing again in with people who weren't as involved?
I did a little bit, but predominantly not. It's not that they were interested in. I mean, they probably were. But I used to. It was kind of, let's see. It was like when she had to, when we had to put her basically in the diaper or the pull-ups, whatever.
It depends, whatever the pull-ups, whatever the incontinence products. Yeah.
And, I would always carry a change of clothes and stuff and take with, because you never knew when accidents were going to happen.
Nope, not a thing.
And, I was lucky, and most people were very good with that. But, the changes, like I said, came about every 3 months where I would have to adjust on things. And people would see that, and Patty wouldn't participate in conversations, but it was kind of interesting that she would be part of it, and she could laugh at the right time. It's almost like she was comprehending, but it wasn't, she couldn't add to it a whole lot.
No, and she would get the mood. She would get the sort of feeling of the place. And if the feeling of the group was a good feeling, her comfort level would come out, and she would be able to process more because she wasn't anxious.
Yes.
And so what ended up, I almost bet what ended up is the world got smaller for you guys, but the world that you had was a good world for you and for she. And so other people fell away, just like shedding leaves in the fall, because it's just not, they were no longer as part of the core mission now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wow. So as things progressed and Patty was not able to recognize who exactly you were to her, but she knew you were important to her. She knew you were a vital part of her day. She knew the boys were good, but she didn't know what that was about. Did she ever have moments where she would want you and have them not be around, or did that not happen for you guys?
That never happened.
Right. That's
because
cool. That's really cool.
We were a very physical family where we would, sit next to each other, hold hands, hug. And it was interesting, to watch my oldest son, and, he's 6'4" and he's 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And Patty would be laying on the couch. He'd go lay on top of her and hug her. And so we were very, very loving family.
And so that core team became her cocoon of safety. And she, so there was never a sense of she was outside the three of you.
Correct.
This foursome was truly the core team, and you became that core group. And that ability to be a team really served you all and served Patty incredibly well. To be able to live through this dementia. So how are so you know me, I want to dig a little bit, but not in a mean way.
No, you're good.
Did the boys ever say or ask or get curious, do you think this is genetic, Dad?
They never asked about it, but after Patty passed away and they did the autopsy on her brain.
Okay, so let me pause you there.
No.
Let me pause you there. So you chose to make sure that for Patty, that finding out what had actually happened in her brain was an important thing to find out. Because at 40 something, this is not a normal phenomena. We should at least be horribly curious about what happened here. Because she didn't live a weird life. She wasn't, sprayed with Agent Orange in Vietnam. It wasn't, nothing like that happened to her. So where did this come from? Yeah, good. Okay. So now
we're very lucky that up in the Portland area, it's called Oregon Health Sciences Institute or University. And so it turned out that we have a brain bank.
Yep, you do.
So I donated her body and her brain to go to that facility so that they could learn.
Wow. You're one of those amazing families that allow the rest of us to have new information to help whoever else happens to come up next on this laundry list that we don't even know we're on until we're already on it.
Yeah. So that doctor did the autopsy on her brain and just said, she had a genetic disposition to end up with something.
Okay.
So
APOE3, APOE4, did they say anything more specific?
They didn't.
Okay.
And so, but he just said it was not genetically predisposed to dementia. It was going to be something. It just turned out to be dementia.
Okay.
And so I let the boys know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Because I think one of the things that one of the things that I hear and I do know is that kids are often scared, but they don't know how to bring it up. They don't know how to talk about it. They don't know whether they should even worry. And then some of them are terrified of it, but they just let that worry fester.
Yeah.
And what is so remarkable about you and your family is it is what it is. Let's put it out there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. Let's lay out what we know, what we don't know, and let's move forward because,
you can't let it slow you down because you can't live in that kind of fear.
No. So. What's fear do for you? It just makes it harder to do what you need to do if you're scared and you don't say, this is really scary. All right, what's scary about it? Yeah, the unknown. Okay, well, what can we know so I don't need to be afraid of it? And then let's see what I can do about what I find out about it. Yeah. Cool.
Hi, I'm Teepa Snow, and you just found our YouTube channel and watched one of our videos. I'm the owner and founder of Positive Approach to Care. Thanks for watching. And if you liked, if you have a comment about, or you would, please share it with people you know. Oh, and if you haven't yet done it, consider subscribing. We'll let you know when the next new video comes out. And you might want to visit our website, www.teepasnow.com, where you'll find other resources as well. See you there.